The Murray River is rapidly rising, flooding plains and swamping roads near the border, reaching its highest level in 23 years. It's a spectacular sight, but causing headaches for locals. Phoebe Bowden filed this report from the Riverland.
Each day in a tiny tinny, Susan Rowe journeys across the swollen Murray, the road to her Renmark home, now a river.
Yeah, it's an adventure, and if I want to shop or go into work, it's by boat.
She fears it may be weeks before water drops enough for the road to be restored.
I'll come up quite a bit, at least 2 or 3 metres here.
High rainfall interstate is causing 13 times more water than usual to surge down the Murray River. This is Lock 5, just upstream from Renmark 2 months ago. Now water is at the highest level in more than 2 decades. It's turning black as it washes onto the plains, mixing with decomposing bark and leaves.
It's disgusting. It smells so terrible. It smells like dead fish.
About 3,000 homes outside of townships rely on the river water, which has turned dark and smelly. It could take months to clear.
A $1,300 filter on this as well, a media filter. And this is the best quality water we can get.
Now I'm having to take my clothes to the laundromat to wash them just so, I feel like my clothes are actually clean.
For South Australian riverside towns close to the border, the water has hit a peak and will soon begin to drop. But for communities further downstream, that won't happen for about a fortnight.
This is nature doing what nature does, and we've got high flows coming down, and they'll peak down the lower section of the river around about Christmas time. The
river water, although discoloured, is still safe, although authorities are urging caution for those in boats and walking along the banks. Phoebe Bowden, 10 Eyewitness News.
Tourism operators along the River Murray fear rising water levels will wash away business during the peak visitor season. Bookings for caravan parks and other accommodation are already being cancelled, but locals insist now is the best time to visit. Phoebe Bowden reports.
The mighty Murray is surging at the highest levels seen in more than 2 decades. It's a spectacular sight, but flooding fears are keeping tourists away.
So the pubs miss out, the caravan parks, the motels, service stations, everyone feels it.
Riverland farmers have recently been hit by fierce storms, estimated to have caused $100 million damage. Now businesses along the Murray fear they'll be crippled by plunging visitor numbers during the peak summer season.
Jump in your car and come for a drive, have a look. It's at its best now.
Some tourist activities have already been restricted, with houseboats grinding to a halt along parts of the river.
It's nearly to the point of being dangerous in the houseboat with the flow the way it is, because by the time you're back out it just takes over the boat.
And while some riverfront camping sites have been flooded, others on higher ground remain vacant.
We've got increased bird life, there's frogs, the yabbies are running, so it's certainly a really unique time to come and visit the river.
Here at Morgan, the water level is expected to rise by about 70 centimetres before it peaks around Christmas time. By then, shacks further upstream will see the water level drop dramatically. Holidaymakers are urged not to abandon plans, but rather rethink which parts of the river they visit. The water is at the highest in 23 years, but still a long way off the record.
People will say there will never be another 56 flood, but it could be next year.
Many lakes, creeks and flooded plains that are usually empty are now full. Local businesses hope that tourists will flood the region too. Phoebe Bowden, 10 Eyewitness News.
Shacks have been swamped and conditions have become perilous along some of the most popular stretches of the Murray for holidaymakers as a surge of floodwaters continues to make its way down the river. Phoebe Bowden reports.
The River Murray has hit a peak at Morgan. But those out on the water are urged to take care, with jetties and fences submerged and debris washing down the river.
It looks all good, but you might be just about to run over a park table, so be very careful.
You sort of can't comprehend where all this water's come from, like over the, from all the snow and the rain, and yeah, it's here.
The mighty Murray is surging through SA at its highest level in 2 decades.
I've never seen it like this.
But despite the spectacular sight, rising water has washed away many of Morgan's visitors.
It's like Rundle Street out there, you could say. But other than that, yeah, this time of the year, because the river's up, everybody's sort of staying away.
Some shacks have been inundated. Many of those on higher ground remain unseasonably vacant.
There's over 1,000 shacks in Morgan and there's probably 10, 15 that are actually impacted.
Tourists are still encouraged to visit and explore the flooded plains.
Not panic, it's not rapids, fairly safe.
With the Murray River in high flow, authorities say it's never been more important to practice water safety, and that begins with wearing a life jacket.
And what do you wear when you go on the jet ski?
A life jacket.
A lot of people do drown in the River Murray. I think it's the area of water which has the highest number of drownings.
Police have launched Operation River Safe and will be out on the water drug and alcohol testing. Phoebe Bowden, 10 Eyewitness News.